Alright, let's talk John Moxley and this ambitious move that he has created for himself. And hopefully it'll give you clarity on what the fuck is going on in AEW. Because I've been hearing, reading, and listening to a whole lot of complaints about AEW. And essentially no one understands what the fuck is going on. They want to know what happened to the company they fell in love with back in 2019. They want to know why everybody's so fucking lazy or appears to be lazy. Everybody's like super emotional. And apparently the person that they have hung their hat on is none other than John Moxley. Now, he says some interesting things. His character now, I told y'all, they said is like a white supremacist, neo-Nazi, a la this movie from Australia called Rumper Stomper. But it could be some of that. But the stuff that he's saying is almost as if he's channeling Vince McMahon. He may be channeling a little of Roman Reigns. He may even be channeling some Triple H. Remember, John Moxley's majority of his wrestling, being famous anyway, took place in WWE as Dean Ambrose. And Dean Ambrose was kept on a very short leash because essentially his ideas are extremely radical and don't really translate on TV as we're seeing right now. So you had to give him what he was going to do. He went out and executed it, and either it hit or it didn't. When Dean Ambrose was left to his own devices, a lot of times it did not hit. Okay, I always say that he peaked in WWE. Now he could probably get another peak, but the way this whole thing is going, people don't understand what this man is doing, because instead of him just speaking straight up, he's talking in like platitudes. It's real convoluted. He's talking in riddles and shit. Just talk regular. Say what the fuck you gonna say. Okay? So with that being said, there's some things in this article that I found here on the New York Post. And it says, John Moxley unplugged on the hard reset in AEW. Most ambitious things I've ever attempted. Now, I'm going to just hit on some things that I noticed that he said, and maybe give clarity on what he is actually trying to do in AEW. This quote-unquote hard reset, a complete start. It all started while he was home rehabbing a broke hip that wasn't allowing him to walk properly, okay? He saw some things on TV that he did not like. He said he was going to come back and he was going to set it on everybody. And the way he did that was this statement that he made, and I quote, "This is not your company anymore." He said that to Tony Schiavone. Everybody's fucking confused, and he went on, and we're going to keep moving. Now, the Blackpool Combat Club is now called the Death Riders, and it's called Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, William Yuta, and Marina Shafir, okay? And basically, they're trying to forcibly hold the company hostage until someone can step up and take it back from them. That is what they're doing, okay? Then they went on to explain the whole thing with the Blackpool Combat Club and how he beat up Bryan Danielson and he tried to suffocate him with the plastic bag. And then William Yuta was made to suffocate him too, because I guess they were breaking him in. Okay, there was a lot of pushback on that, the way it was presented, but John Moxley felt that is the way it needed to be. John Moxley feels he is restarting, and his storyline is a chance to bring up as much of the other talent around him to build something even more sustainable for AEW moving forward. He wants AEW to be a place, and I quote, not just about putting on great wrestling shows, but that makes quote unquote great people. He said wrestling gave him the opportunity to kind of become a functioning human being and gave him a path to walk in the world. Now, when he was on the independent scene, but when he went to WWE, you can accredit WWE with that statement, because he spent almost a decade in WWE, okay? So now we're at the point where he's trying to elevate Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. And Orange Cassidy will have his first singles match for the AEW World title. And Jon Moxley wants to be credited with giving Orange Cassidy this opportunity that I guess he otherwise would have never gotten. Moxley went on to say changes were needed because of a mountain of shit that happened in what he calls the old AEW before day zero. Okay? We already got the CM Punk situation that happened, the fallout from All Elite, whoop to whoop to whoop, put a big stain on AEW. Now Moxley said that was just a grain of salt of some of the issues he's seen. He said some individual said it's the bottom of the card, it doesn't matter. It's the bottom of the card, it doesn't matter, Moxley said. He said, and I quote, can you imagine saying that? Like, you're fucking fired. You're fucking fired. Go work at Sunglass Hut. You should be fucking pistol whipped for saying that. So a person in the back said, we don't have to do much because it's the bottom of the card. Moxley's plight with this whole new Death Riders is to get everyone from the bottom of the card an opportunity, at least at the top of the card, and invest in the people around him and put them on the forefront. So essentially, he's saying he's helping. He's saying, I quote, everybody that's on the top was at the bottom. That's how it works. You climb the ladder. You see a lot of frustration, confusion from some of these talents because there's no fucking ladder. They don't know what to do. They're kind of just wandering in the desert. We're going to grab them by the shoulder and we're going to walk them. Now, the way he's going to walk them is by busting their ass and suffocating them and putting their heads in chairs and slamming their hands with hammers and shit. That's how he's going to walk them through. He basically said, yeah, we got the deal. It's worth $185 million, but that don't mean you going to chill out. You don't fucking just take your foot off the gas because you got the deal, which is essentially what's happening not only in AEW, but in WWE. They got the deals, now we going to fuck around. So, essentially, Jon Moxley is given creative control, and Tony Khan has put all full faith in Jon Moxley, who I believe is also the AEW heavyweight champion. He is the face of the company right now. He doesn't carry the belt around, so I don't even know what that's about. He is essentially going to bring AEW back to where it's supposed to be, and that is his hard reset. How is he going about it? He's going about it the Vince McMahon way. You're going to do as I say, not as I do. He's going about it the Triple H way. I'm going to fuck everybody up in the back to get where I want to be. I'm going to play politics like a motherfucker. He's doing it the Roman Reigns way. I'm helping you. Yes, I'm abusing you psychologically, emotionally, and physically, and in some places spiritually, but it's to break you down, to help you back up to be a better person. Okay? And he's doing it, hell, I would even say representative of what's going on in the country now. Is it a hard reset? No, we're more so going backwards, but either way, something is going to happen, and it better be good, bad, but it can't be in between. Whatever Jon Moxley's doing right now, he better really be putting his foot in it to make sure that what's going to happen to this company in the next 5-10 years, we could all say, if Jon Moxley didn't do that, we don't know where this company would be. But the problem is, we watching Jon Moxley do it on TV, and it's not being executed. This guy is in the back, in parking lots, in the back of trucks and shit, talking in riddles. You have to understand your audience. Don't nobody got time to sit there and try to figure out what the fuck you're doing and what you're saying. If you're here to help people, say that. I'm here to help. I'm about to fuck y'all up. We about to do it like this. Is what's going to happen. And do it. You stomping and walking around like you a bad motherfucker is not giving what it's supposed to give. And also, y'all going to have to let these men beat up some of these women's wrestlers. That probably would help. If you're going to change some things, they need to get some intergender wrestling going, because watching like Marina Shafir beat up men, even Rhea Ripley, it's like, are you fucking kidding here? You can let one of the men swing off on her real good and get that story going too. Them people in his stable needs some side missions as well. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments if you made this far, and I'll catch you.